Hello and welcome to the Daily Debate Live Wednesdays with Tagreed Hussein here on Nile TV International. Well, tonight we'll be talking about a very significant topic and talking about cooperation between Egypt and UNIDO. How are we integrating together and building hand in hand a better future? Well, on tonight we'll be sharing Egypt's international cooperation for industrial development. With the new republic in place, we're looking forward to a future in which we see developments, higher income, as well as the sufficient employment and also global posting are really realities. And in that regard, as we all know, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi always stresses that the future path for the Egyptian industrial sector is mainly to become the engine for growth and also for employment creation and export development, with the main objective of deepening Egypt's integration into the global economy as a main competitive player. In that regard, and for this target to be attained, Egypt has collaborated and cooperated with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, which is a specialized agency of the UN, mainly assisting countries in economic as well as in industrial development. The mission of UNIDO is mainly promoting and accelerating inclusive and sustainable industrial development in the different member states. Tonight we have all the honor of having with us Dr. Bassel Khatib, who is the Regional Director, UNIDO Regional Hub Office in Egypt, and together we'll be talking about this great collaboration between Egypt and UNIDO, the great efforts that has been in progress in that regard. Thank you so much, Dr. Bassel, for being with us on Nile TV exclusively on the Daily Debate Live Wednesdays. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Tagreed. I'm very good. Very happy to be here.
Thank you. Same here, Doctor. And together we'll be talking about the partnership between Egypt and UNIDO. Let's first see this report and we will be back for further discussion.
مصر فيها 100 مليون. مصر كمان مساحتها 1,000,000 كيلومتر مربع. بس في حجم ضخم جدا من الأراضي احنا مش عايشين عليه. ما خدناش بالنا على مدى 60-70 سنة فاتوا إن الكلام ده هيبقى ليه تأثير كبير جدا وخطير على حياتنا ومستقبلنا. لكن احنا مش سايبين لا القاهرة ولا اسكندرية ولا بورسعيد ولا المحافظات، بنتحرك في كل القديم والجديد مع بعض عشان يليق بينا ويليق بالمصريين يعني. الموضوع مش مباني بس، لا، ده تطور كبير قوي احنا بنعمله. فأرجو ان احنا نستعد مفكرين، مثقفين، فنانين. هذا الحدث الكبير ميلاد دولة جديدة بافتتاح العاصمة الجديدة. ميلاد دولة جديدة. إعلان جمهورية تانية.
UNIDO is the specialized agency of the United Nations, promoting industrial development for poverty reduction, inclusive globalization, and environmental sustainability. As of the 1st of April 2019, 170 states became members of UNIDO. They regularly discuss and decide UNIDO's guiding principles and policies in the sessions of the policy-making organs. The mission of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, known as UNIDO, is to promote and accelerate inclusive and sustainable industrial development in member states. UNIDO's regional office in Cairo was established in 1999 in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Over the years, it has been supporting Egypt to achieve social and economic growth through the promotion of industrial development for employment generation and environmental sustainability. In this regard, UNIDO has developed an approach for the Program for Country Partnership, known as PCP, which aims to offer sustainable solutions for long-term industrial development by leveraging resources through more effective and high-level national partnerships and international commitment. Following the launch of the PCP program in 6 pilot countries, Egypt has shown interest in the development of a program for country partnership the PCP. The UNIDO Executive Board, following the positive assessment of the criteria for admission to develop a PCP, approved Egypt's proposal to establish the program in the country. And Egypt then became the second Arab country to benefit from this large-scale UNIDO program. Building on its long-standing technical cooperation activities, the Program for Country Partnership, or PCP, supports Egypt's transformation in line with the country's national policies and development strategies, as well as the UN Partnership Development Framework for Egypt and the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Since December 2018, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and UNIDO Director General Lee Young agreed on the principles of a PCP. Egypt and UNIDO have worked closely to design and develop an integrated service package to leverage additional investment in sectors with high growth potential and the capacity to generate quality jobs. During the 2019 PCP programming phase, UNIDO and key national ministries conducted a country diagnostic, including several consultations with the United Nations country team, international financial institutions, and other development partners. The diagnostic showed that manufacturing in Egypt registered notable achievements in the last decade in terms of economic contribution. The share of manufacturing has been increasing in three main dimensions: employment, exports, and FDI inflows, while in terms of trade competitiveness, Egypt has improved in agriculture, textiles, chemicals, and plastics, as evidenced by an increase in the number of revealed comparative advantages. Accordingly, the PCP in Egypt focuses on industrial policy and governance, investment promotion, green industry, smart cities and sustainable industrial parks, value chains, and mainstreaming Industry 4.0 in priority industrial sectors including chemicals, electronics, food, textiles, leather, furniture, and handicrafts. Noteworthy to mention that PCP Egypt has been designed, developed, and will be implemented taking into account lessons learned and the best practices identified in previous PCPs. It is also tailored to fulfill the needs of the country and aligned to the objectives of Egypt's Vision 2030.
As we've seen in the report, how UNIDO is a specialized agency of the UN promoting mainly industrial development for poverty reduction, as well as also inclusive globalization, working also on environmental sustainability. Dr. Bassel, knowing more about the role of UNIDO and in your capacity as the regional director, UNIDO Regional Hub Office in Egypt, definitely lots of priorities and plans on mind.
Yeah. Well, let me start by saying that the organization was established in 1966 in order to take care of industrial development worldwide. And the office in Egypt was established in 1999 for the same purposes. Recently, in two of the general conferences of the organization, in 2013 in Lima and in 2019 in Abu Dhabi, the role of the organization to take care of inclusive and sustainable industrial development worldwide was fixed as a fixed term for the organization. And definitely on that we work at 3 levels. First, we work at the social level, taking care of youth, women, employment, small and medium enterprises, livelihoods, agricultural projects, etc. At the economic level, we work also with SMEs. We work at boosting the economies of the countries in making industry as a main part of the economy and making it contribute to the GDP of the country more than it used to be. In some countries, we are working in introducing industry even because they have very simple industries.
Yes.
Definitely, as you have mentioned, we work also at the environmental level where we take care of ozone depleting, and UNIDO is one of the main implementing agencies for the ozone harmful for forbidding the use of ozone harmful substances in the world, and on other environmental issues that will take care of having a green environment.
Yes, definitely very important causes. And as we remember in April 2021, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Egypt's Prime Minister, and Mr. Leong, the Director General of UNIDO, both signed the 5-year program for the country partnership, a very important milestone actually,
yes,
that UNIDO office has worked accordingly in order to achieve the objectives.
Exactly. Let me tell you, since 2013, UNIDO has decided to go into a different way of action in the countries.
Yeah.
And we have created the program for country partnership, or what you call it, the PCP.
Yeah.
And then we started doing that in 6 pilot countries. When the program succeeded in the 6 pilot countries, Egypt has applied for UNIDO to be the first after pilot implementing country, and succeeded. After an assessment that we have done in Egypt, we found that the ground is very ready in Egypt to start.
That was my question actually, that what really was the main motivation that made you decide to continue with the project in Egypt?
To be honest, I want to tell you the work that has been done during the last 7 or 8 years at the economical level and the industrial level, in particular in the country, in boosting the economy of the country, at having the industry as one of the main pillars of the economy. An example is the great work that is being done through this period on the infrastructure. You know that the infrastructure is one of the biggest motivations of industrial development. So this has meant to the organization that it is a country where we can succeed, and we will succeed. And this has encouraged us very much to get into a PCP in Egypt.
Yes. Glad to hear that, and mentioning also infrastructure, mentioning the different projects that Egypt is working on, reaching the new republic. Also, in another area, Dr. Khatib, was the industrial issue of having our own vaccine, Egypt manufacturing the vaccine at Vaxera. This is considered to be also a great milestone, isn't it?
Definitely. I agree with you. It's a great milestone. It's an honor for all the Egyptians. Currently, Egypt is, for the first level, going to introduce or to manufacture 80 million vaccines to vaccinate 40 million. You know, each will take 2 doses.
Yes.
And in the preparation of 400 million vaccines to be exported to neighboring countries in the Middle East and in Africa. Definitely, this is a big achievement. Egypt is becoming a hub for vaccine production. And if we go back to the past for the hepatitis C, you remember that for facing out the hepatitis C, Egypt was the main country to work on phasing out that and having the vaccine for that. And definitely I want to say that UNIDO is giving the hand to all the manufacturers, and whatever is needed at the manufacturing level, we will be very supportive.
Yes, that was great to hear, and also you've been supporting to the manufacturing sector on more than one level in the country, as definitely Egypt is believing that the manufacturing sector is considered to be the main locomotive for growth. So we're talking about the Egyptian industry, and we've seen also the growth rates that has been admired and were considered to be a source of appreciation and admiration all over the world.
Yes. I want to tell you that the manufacturing value added for Egypt is the highest in the Arab region. It's 15.9%, the highest in the Arab region. This is one. Second, as we have said, Egypt was, during the pandemic, the only country in the region almost that was able to keep the economic growth and the high national income. Also,
excerpts of the different inauguration ceremony in the presence and honor of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi and the Minister of Industry and in oil and gas projects. Well, the manufacturing sector and the industry sector is considered to be a real locomotive for growth in the country.
Yes. I think that His Excellency President Sisi has said it many times, and not only said it, he is doing it.
Yeah.
He said diversification the economy by making the industry as a strong sector in Egypt is the main boost for the economy in Egypt. He wants, and he told to the Mr. Lee Yong, the DG of UNIDO, when he met him twice, he told him that I believe that the biggest boost to the Egyptian economy is by industrial development and having inclusive and sustainable industry in Egypt. And this is what we are hand in hand working together with the government of Egypt to achieve.
Yes, talking about that important meetings with Mr. Yong, and we'd love to know more about the impressions as he saw how Egypt has transformed and the different milestones that we have already went through in order to reach the new republic. How far was he impressed? And talking about also the key UNIDO projects that are currently implemented in Egypt.
Actually, he was extremely impressed. When he met His Excellency President Sisi for the first time, it was in December 2018. And this was the first meeting to discuss the PCP in general. And when President Sisi was informing DG Lee Yong about the steps that the government is taking, the DG was extremely happy and did not expect that all of that was
happening in a short while.
Exactly. He didn't expect. And when we went out, he said we should help Egypt because Egypt is very well determined to be an industrial country. We need to help them to reach that goal. Then in December 2019, they met again to put the pillars and the components of the PCP. All the components of the PCP are according to the advice of His Excellency President Sisi to DG Lee Yong. All these components that are working upon, because he is the one who knows what priorities he needs for his country to develop the economy through industrial development.
Yes, that's great, and I'm really happy to register those impressions and also to see the follow-up on how Egypt is changing and the different milestones that are happening on solid grounds. Dr. Bassel, talking about the different countries, the UNIDO office in Egypt is a regional hub, so definitely working with other countries as well. This sense of cooperation and collaboration.
Yes. If you allow me to mention, we cover almost all North African Arab countries. We cover Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Libya, definitely Egypt, Sudan, Djibouti, and also in our portfolio there is Yemen. Because Yemen is a conflict country and needs to be covered by a strong regional hub, and we consider Cairo as a strong regional hub. And I want to say that the regional hub is set in Cairo due to the high level of political strength of
stability
strength and stability of Egypt, and strong economy at the African and the Middle East levels.
This Here with His Excellency.
With His Excellency, this is the second visit in December 2019. DG Lee Yong and the colleagues, the managing directors, and myself with His Excellency.
With the President,
this is after we have finalized the discussions on the
PCP components or the pillars.
Exactly. So yes, and definitely not only at the political but at the economical level, this is why the regional hub for the Arab region and the Middle East is in Cairo. Our role in the region is similar to what we are doing in Egypt. of course, what we do in Egypt is much easier because, as I told you, there is the infrastructure. In other countries, we are suffering because some
What are
countries
the challenges that you meet in those countries,
Exactly.
Dr. Bassel?
Thank you for this question, because some countries, as you know, are under conflict, like Yemen, like Libya, even in Djibouti there are some problems. Now in Tunisia we are having some instability. We hope everything will be resolved very soon. Even in these countries that are under conflict, we are present and we are working. And there are, believe me, industrial development on capacity building even in Yemen and Libya. So we play that role of introducing the industry in making them able to pass this difficult humanitarian challenge that they are doing, that they are having in their countries.
Yes. Talking about the industries as a locomotive mainly for change and for transformation, and we've talked about the pillars of the PCP while Mr. Young was here and also following with another visit. Tell us more about the report of the follow-up concerning what has been achieved on solid grounds. We're really eager to know more about what really happened and the contribution of UNIDO.
Yeah. I want to say a very important characteristic about the PCP, just that we would be understood why we are doing that. A very main pillar, mainly the portfolio, what UNIDO will implement is 172 million over the different components. What we have now is 10 ongoing projects for the PCP with a portfolio of more than $30 million. But we do not count on this money only, because the PCP is about partnership. And we are partnering with DFIs, international financial institutions, in order for them to put more money in these sectors
to support
in order
those
to
sectors.
support. I will give you an example, if you allow me.
Please.
It's very important. In the industrial zones component, what we are doing now is worth something like $5 or $6 million. The impact of $5-6 million will not be like President Sisi wants at the economical level, but we have now discussions with the African Development Bank and the Islamic Development Bank to put about $500 million in the sector of industrial zones. You can see the difference of the impact between 5 million and $500 million. Then we can talk about economic change, boosting the economy through industry. This is a main characteristic of the PCP that makes it really help the economy and developing the economy in the countries where it is implemented.
Yes, that's great news. And talking about by combining UNIDO's advisory and normative services, its technical assistance and its convening function, the program for country partnership, which we are actually discussing and talking about its pillars, the PCP is mainly supporting today Egypt's efforts to achieve the industrial development. And we are working together vis-à-vis achieving Egypt's Vision 2030.
Yes.
Talking Egypt's Vision 2030 and Egypt definitely working on sustainable development. You've also read more concerning our Vision 2030. How is UNIDO supporting that vision today?
Definitely the PCP is made according to that vision.
Yeah.
And even to the sectors that are mentioned in that vision. We coincide with it and we support it a lot. But other than that, I want to say that through the PCP also, we are working, because according to this vision, there should be the birth of certain policies and strategies that will help the industry in order to implement the Vision 2030. And we are currently working intensively on these policies, and they are starting to make effect. As we have seen, I want to say that Egypt is growing industrially as of now. You have heard that Egypt has now the manufacturing ability of certain parts of the new trains, trains that are going to be. Nasr company is starting to manufacture an electrical car, 100% manufactured electrical car in Egypt. And this is a very leading role. So all the components of the PCP and all the efforts are being made according to the Agenda 2030 and the priorities that have been set by the government for industrial development.
Yes, this is very important, and also talking today digital transformation. The whole world is talking digital transformation, and especially the role of digital transformation is huge when we are talking about the industrial sector. How is UNIDO fostering this sense of digital transformation and supporting the sense of industrial technology vis-a-vis the different projects that are implemented?
Actually, what you are talking about is very important. It is the Industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution that is being all over the world right now. We believe that Egypt has the capability of being an Industry 4.0 implementer. But there are few things to be taken care of. And in the PCP, there is a big component on Industry 4.0. First, we want to have a vision towards this. Second, we need to work on policies and investment on that. And we are working on these issues.
The electric car, This is a real hit, actually.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
We consider that this is the leap forward. And when we see those projects and those features, those are considered to be the features of the new republic.
Exactly.
This is what we need to see in our daily lives. The president is very much keen to have this implemented on solid grounds, because definitely it transforms Egyptians' lives. He's really very much keen to make the quality of life easier and to the better.
Yes.
So, yes, the electrical car is considered to be a real hit.
Yeah.
What was UNIDO's impressions concerning
well, we were
this
very
happening?
happy. We worked not in the direct implementation, but
and
we worked
environmentally friendly, as you see.
Environmentally friendly, So fully electrical.
Exactly.
Fully electrical, 400 kilometers battery. It's an excellent car.
Yes. So UNIDO is definitely fostering.
Yes, through the policies. Because when you have the policies and the strategies, it is easier to implement. And here on the Industry 4.0, even though Egypt is now moving from Industry 2.0 to 3.0, we are going to do a leapfrogging directly to Industry 4.0, but we want to create innovation. We will create an innovation center for Industry 4.0. We will create a model factory for Industry 4.0. We will have a capacity building Industry 4.0. We will work on introducing this Industry 4.0 in the new smart cities that His Excellency the President is taking care of doing. And the most important is that we will be supporting the industries in taking this step towards introducing artificial intelligence into the existing factories as well.
Yes, I'm glad, Dr. Bassel, that you've mentioned two keys here in what you're saying. And these keys are considered to be also the features of the future. Talking artificial intelligence, because we need artificial intelligence when we are talking about the Industrial Revolution. And in that sense, achieving sustainability, achieving sustainable development strategy, and applying Egypt's vision vis-a-vis the two keys that you said, innovation and artificial intelligence combined, and with UNIDO's support. What's the vision in that regard?
Well, first, in the first step towards achieving industrial development at any level is to have the policies there and to encourage investments. We need also to make some changes, and now we are preparing for a very fast project in order to assist the government to boost and encourage the investment, to have some easier ways for not only foreign investors, but also for Egyptian investors to be able to invest in that domain of artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0. Set the policy, set the strategy, put the investment promotion there, and for the investment promotion of that, we are going to create an investment promotion and technology center to help Egypt not only create these artificial intelligence and whatever you mentioned from the fourth industrial revolution in Egypt, but to be a hub for Africa and the Middle East as well.
Yes, being a hub for Africa and the Middle East, and we were talking together before delving into the program of for the country partnership, the PCP, concerning how Egypt today, through Vaxera, is mainly manufacturing the vaccine, and here also in the field of medicine, the speed implementation, as you were mentioning, Dr. Bassel, and with your words, fast projects. Yes, we need speed.
Definitely.
While moving precisely, but we need speed. So talking about that very interesting investment promotion and technology center, tell us more about the features of that center. Yes. How is it going to make life easier? And how about the easy access to the different facilities?
Yes. First, I want to talk about capacity building. There will be a very huge program of capacity building for our investment. As you know, that there are a lot of investment institutions taking care of that in the country. We are going to do real capacity building and renovation in these institutions in order to be at the upper world level on investment promotion and technology promotion. This is first. Second, we want to open the big gate between the foreign investors and the big local Egyptian investors and even the small ones in order to bring investment to Egypt on new technologies because we need it to happen very fast. And this is why I mentioned leapfrogging. We cannot wait until the steps to take their path in this slow way. We are going to jump from 2.0 directly to 4.0, and this investment and technology promotion center is going to be the key for that issue.
Yes, that's great news, the FAST project, and talking about having leaps forward in that respect or in that regard is considered to be a very important mission. We're talking today also about how to further encourage foreign direct investment, because this is considered to be also among the main pillars of our vision 2030. How is UNIDO supporting in that, in marketing Egypt also to the world?
Yes.
Like those visits, for instance, like those that visit of Mr. Young and also other officials will definitely contribute to that, because it's like a follow by example. You watch yourself the change happening, and you market Egypt to the world.
Yes, definitely we market Egypt, and Egypt is a very important member state at UNIDO. And DJ Leong, in all his speeches, always mentions Egypt as an example. And in our relations
in what way, Dr. Bassel? I mean, how did Mr. Young mention Egypt as an example to follow suit in the fact that it has achieved growth rates? Or is it for the fact that it enjoys stability, then hence it attracts foreign direct investment? Or can we say that the Egyptian government has worked hard in order to provide incentives for the different business institutes around the world? In what way, in your opinion?
Well, to be honest, it's all the ways that you have mentioned, in addition of being a lead economy in Africa and a lead economy in the Middle East. The growth rates that Egypt is showing, I'm going to tell you, even through the pandemic, you know how difficult it is now to make growth. Even advanced countries sometimes are not able to make the economic growth, but Egypt is maintaining that. Egypt is being given an example for the growth rates that it is still going, and for the work that has been done through the past 7 or 8 years that is tremendous. DG Leon believes that the step that has been taken in Egypt since 2012, 2013 until now is a big step. The country has changed 180 degrees, and it is time now to introduce the highest industrial technologies, and this has started in Egypt, and we believe that the future in the coming few years will be very bright on at the industrial level in the country.
Yes, and we're always, optimistic, since we're working hard. Definitely, we are transforming to the better. The role of industry in Egypt's economic development is mainly the upcoming headline of the coming report. We will be back in order to discuss further important files regarding Egypt's industrial development vis-à-vis Egypt's Vision 2030. My honorable guest is Dr. Bassel Khatib, Regional Director, UNIDO Regional Hub Office in Egypt, exclusively on Wednesday debate discussing those important files. Stay with us.
لما قلنا بكرة أحلى لا ما كانش كلام أغاني وأما جه بكرة فرحنا ولسه جاية الفرحة تاني وإحنا نقدر علي أكتر مش كلام أصله طول عمره
There's an overwhelming consensus at Egypt's policy-making level that manufacturing is an engine of growth. In this regard, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has directed the government to expand the plan for establishing industrial complexes across the country, as well as to provide the necessary financial resources in order to integrate the system of industrial complexes with a strategy to increase local components in products. Industrialization is a vehicle of economic growth because it activates forward and backward linkages and value chains. It represents a driver of technological development and also because it helps acquire the necessary capabilities which are useful to diversify the economy. As documented by the PCP Egypt Diagnostics in terms of capabilities, Egypt achieved greater trade competitiveness in different sectors, including, among others, agriculture, textiles, and chemicals. In regard to the share of manufacturing exports, Egypt is rapidly converging towards high levels. Those achievements were facilitated by lots of efforts deployed to improve the policy environment of the country that allowed Egypt to implement a number of initiatives in the last years to support the development of the manufacturing sector. Worth mentioning that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi issued directives for conducting in-depth studies on the transfer of modern industrial technology in high-priority fields by going into major partnerships with major international companies and entities in a way that ensures the sustainability of industries in Egypt in the long term. According to the President's instructions, the coming stage will represent a great opportunity for the return of the Egyptian industry, the very thing that will result into restoring its influence within the national economy by taking advantage of the current opportunities to deepen it.
هو حد عمل زيكم؟ هو حد حافظ على بلده زي
God bless Egypt, and talking about sustainable industrial development, Dr. Bassel, and also talking about the new areas, the new industrial areas in the country, the new Suez Canal Access Project. Definitely those has made a real difference in marketing Egypt to the whole world.
Yes, definitely. I mean, always it's not enough to just boost the industries that you have. Mm-hmm. And this is also relating to what we are saying about the Industry 4.0. You need to introduce new industries. Now, the car industry is not old in Egypt, but you are renewing it. It's as if a new blood is coming. Yeah. The vaccination, it's a medical, pharmaceutical innovation. Yeah. So always you need to have new blood. You have to introduce new industries. And in the PCP, we are going to introduce new industries, especially at the electronics and the food sectors. We are going to do that.
Yes, so we're watching here definitely the new
Suez Canal.
Yes, the new Suez Canal Access Project and the different industries definitely, as we could see here, the title mainly challenges as well as achievements. Yes, there are challenges, but definitely there has been lots of achievements happening on solid grounds, and with the different companies we've seen together while watching also the report more concerning the CLO companies and the industrial sector working hard also in order to mainly provide the school children with meals as the new academic year starts. All that is considered to be features of the new republic.
Yes, definitely. It's features. It is clear for us because we have been in since 1999 in Egypt, and we have the history, and we have been doing many trials. I mean, we have succeeded somewhere, and we have not been able to do things somewhere. But in the past 7 years, what is being done is facilitating our work as the UN arm for industrial development with our member states, and I'm talking about Egypt. It's facilitating our role very much. We work according to the priorities of the government and to the requests of the government. And if the government is not fulfilling its role and there is no vision towards the industrial development, we will not be able to do much. What is making us now successful and visible really in Egypt is that the government is fulfilling its role at all levels. Definitely there are rooms for improvement, and we are working on this with the government to solve all these challenges, as you have said, and problems.
Yes. In June 2021, UNIDO organized a webinar on Industry 4.0 in Egypt entitled Enhancing the Readiness for the Adoption of Industry 4.0, where the Minister of International Cooperation had stated that Egypt invites all the developmental partners in order to work together to join forces and to support digital transformation in the country. We talked about digital transformation, but still it's the future. We talked about the technology center. How are all those trials and initiatives going to be linked for a future that is digitally transformed?
Yeah, actually this was a first event that we are doing in a series of activities that we are going to do. First, we are going to set the vision towards Industry 4.0. We are going to work on the policy of Industry 4.0 with the Ministry of Industry and other relevant ministries. We are going to work on investment in Industry 4.0. Definitely, we are going to introduce the Industry 4.0 to that. Very important, I don't want to relist what I have said, what we will do for Industry 4.0, but very important is the creation of the model factory for Industry 4.0 that will be working totally according to artificial intelligence, that will be a model for investors in order to do the same in several subsectors of industry and not in one sector. You mentioned it, is it electronics, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, food, etc.
Here we can see the upgrade in the infrastructure with the, eliminating the traffic congestion, of course, in Cairo, and this network has really facilitated a lot. This the Ring Road junction, the different access efforts of more than 4,000 engineers and technicians working at those projects and expanding the traffic lanes, the Western Nile Bridge. Very distinctive role also that has been played here by the Egyptian Armed Forces, engineering units. This in addition also to engineers all over the country. What is really a source of pride is that it's made in Egypt.
It's made in Egypt, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I want to say something here because you mentioned infrastructure several times. Let us be very clear. There is no industrial development. There is no inclusive and sustainable development of industry if you do not have a proper infrastructure. So the base for industrial development is a proper infrastructure. And this is why I was mentioning to you, Doctor, that this is making our lives at UNIDO much easier because the government, the directions from His Excellency the President, because he has vision, is to do the infrastructure first. So you go the step before the first step before the second step. Organize well the infrastructure, then we can go into an inclusive industrial development.
Yes, among the visits that His Excellency every Friday would be very keen to follow up himself on the transformation is happening and to follow up on the different projects, the different infrastructure projects all over the country, be it the visits of the highways or also other new cities under construction. Well, the Minister of Trade and Industry had stated that the industrial sector is considered to be the locomotive of economic growth in the country. Egypt became the largest contributor to Egyptian economic growth if compared to other sectors. And as Dr. Bassel has mentioned, that when there is a vision which is really keen to upgrade this sector, then UNIDO's mission would become easier, and achieving the main pillars of the PCP and more would become much easier. What would be your dreams in the coming future, Dr. Bassel? Has the priorities changed on your agenda?
Not very much. Definitely we adjust in details. The basics are still the same, because this is the vision of the country, and we find, to be honest with you, we find it very doable.
Yeah.
Very doable. There are some problems, there are some conflicts that we are solving. But in the details, there always be some changes, some shifting here. And if I say my dreams, I want to say that the dreams I see that will come true, because the base is ready. My dream is to see Egypt as the leading industry in Africa and the Middle East at highest level of industry, not only at the normal pace of industrial development, but at the upper level of complex and advanced industries like the car industries, and the other complex pharmaceutical, medical, whatever is related, construction, also related industries, at the highest level, and at the level of the fourth industrial revolution that we will be working very hard, hand in hand, with the government of Egypt in order to introduce. I think in the coming few years, as we have seen in the past 7 or 8 years, these jumps that you have spoken about, in the coming also 4 to 5 years, we will see much more and faster jumps that will take Egypt into a much upper level at the economic, political, and industrial levels.
Yes, hopefully. And on that optimistic note, it has been an honor and pleasure having tonight Dr. Bassel Al-Khatib, the Regional Director, UNIDO Regional Hub Office in Egypt, my guest of honor for tonight. For the first time on the show, thank you so much for coming, Dr. Bassel.
Thank you, it was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We really enjoyed your company. Thank you so much. And I thank you, dear viewers, for joining us. And another day tomorrow and another team. Until then.